I want you to just imagine a city for a second. A city where the local municipal policy actually mandates that the rain is cataloged.
Oh, wow. Like every single drop.
Literally every drop. And not just measured in inches for some, evening weather report. We are talking about completely obsessively recording it in these massive server farms.
Right. So the city essentially remembers absolutely everything the rain touches.
Exactly. I mean, we are talking about the chemical composition of every single raindrop, the exact atmospheric data, even like the microscopic particulate matter washed off a random street corner.
That is wild.
Yeah, the city just decided that memory was simply too important or maybe too fragile to leave to actual human beings.
It's such a striking image, honestly. It's almost claustrophobic.
Oh, totally claustrophobic.
Because it completely replaces the messy, organic nature of human memory with something that is just perfectly, ruthlessly forensic. I mean, there's literally nowhere to hide in a city that catalogs the rain.
Yeah, nowhere at all.
Every footprint becomes data. Every action leaves this undeniable permanent wake behind you.
Exactly. And that unforgiving, hyper-surveilled environment is the world we are stepping into for today's deep dive.
I am so excited for this one.
Me too. We are exploring the source material from this truly mind-bending sci-fi text called Night Market Karma by Max and Claude.
Such a good text.
It really is. And our mission today is to unpack a completely fascinating concept from this universe. We're going to look at what happens when morality isn't just, some cosmic spiritual mystery, but an actually tradable, mathematically precise financial commodity.
Right, because it's a premise that forces you to entirely rethink the fundamental physics of cause and effect.
Yeah, it really messes with your head.
It does.
Yeah.
We're so used to thinking of karma as this vague spiritual balancing scale, right? Like you do something bad, maybe you get a flat tire next week.
Right, the universe gets you back eventually.
Exactly. But in this universe, it is a hard science.
So let's set the scene for where this science is actually practiced. We are in Neo-Bangkok, and we're zooming in on a place called Thenon Karma.
The night market.
The night market, yeah. This is the place you go to buy all the things the official above-ground economy has basically decided you shouldn't want.
Right, the really dark stuff.
Yeah, you've got stalls selling memory suppressants, black market cybernetic augmentations, identity brokers selling entire forensic backstories.
Just totally unregulated underworld.
Exactly. But for this deep dive, we are walking right past all of that. We're going deep into the labyrinth of the market, looking for one specific, completely unmarked canvas stall.
Run by a woman named Nang Sura.
Yes, Nang Sura. And what she sells at this little stall are karma futures.
Which is just, to really understand why anyone would risk visiting Nang Sura, we first need to understand the incredibly bizarre economy she operates in.
Right, because it's not what you'd expect.
Not at all. We have to look at the specific mechanics of what she's actually selling, because she isn't a psychic. She isn't a priest. She is essentially a commodities broker, but for the human soul.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the text gives us these incredible sensory details when our protagonist, a guy named Mako, first walks into her stall.
Oh, the description of the smell is amazing.
It's so good. He notes that the air inside smells like every decision he had almost made and hadn't.
Yeah.
Which is just a wild concept. Like, how does a smell even convey unmade decisions?
It's pure atmosphere.
Yeah. And then on her table, she has this physical ledger written in breathing luminescent ink. And right next to it, there's a strange brass instrument that literally measures the weight of decisions.
And that brass instrument is really crucial to understanding the physics of this world.
How so?
Well, in Nang Sura's stall, karma is not a metaphor. It is a literal mechanism of cause and effect that actually has mass.
Wait, it has mass?
Yes, but the instrument doesn't weigh physical objects. It measures the displacement of probability.
Oh, wow.
Right, so every time you make a choice, you collapse a timeline, and that collapse generates a kinetic energy. And that energy is karma.
That is fascinating.
It is. And because it is a measurable physical mechanism, the night market has figured out how to subject it to modern financial instruments.
Of course they have. If you can measure it, you can sell it.
Exactly. You can securitize it, you can sell futures in it.
So how does a transaction actually work?
The core mechanic is basically this. You commit an act, let's say a major crime, and the consequence, the bad luck, the cosmic weight of that crime, it transfers immediately to a buyer who has agreed to take it on.
Okay, so it's like a carbon offset program, but for your soul.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Like you do something terrible, but you just pay someone else to absorb the spiritual pollution so you can walk away completely clean.
I definitely see the parallel there. But what's fascinating here is that the market's rules are actually much stricter than a standard carbon offset.
Really? Stricter how?
Well, Nang Sura explains that the karma market absolutely despises speculation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you cannot just buy a general clean slate for whatever vague bad things you might accidentally do over the next year.
So no blank checks.
No blank checks at all. You have to purchase the contract first, and you have to specify the exact, meticulously detailed act you plan to commit.
Wow.
And then you must commit that specific act within 60 days.
Wait, hold on. So you are contractually obligated by the universe to commit a crime.
Essentially, yes.
What happens if you get cold feet? Like you buy the contract and then you just chicken out?
If you do not perform the act within the 60-day window, the contract inverts.
Inverts. That sounds bad.
It's very bad. You get hit with the bad karma anyway, simply because you registered that dark intention into the ledger.
Oh, man.
Yeah, plus you get hit with a cosmic interest rate for the failure to act.
A cosmic interest rate. That is brutal.
It is. As Nang Sura tells Mako, the mechanism has a very effective way of clarifying your motivation.
That is terrifyingly logical, honestly. Once you sign that ledger, you are completely locked in.
You're fully committed.
Which brings us to Mako Reyes, our protagonist, and the very specific crime he is contracting to commit.
Right. And I think it's important to look at Mako's profile here.
Yeah, he's not who you'd expect.
Exactly. He's not a hardened criminal. He's not some syndicate boss.
Mm-hmm.
He's just an ordinary 41-year-old guy who had his entire life methodically destroyed by the system.
He's just a desperate father, really.
Yeah.
The text outlines how this corrupt city councilor named Decha Suwan used weaponized municipal audits to completely wipe out Mako's small business.
Just buried him.
Yeah, buried him in manufactured bureaucratic violations. And the fallout was absolute chaos. Mako lost his wife, Priya, and he hadn't been allowed to see his 11-year-old daughter, Lily, in 18 months.
Which is just heartbreaking.
It is. His ex-wife basically told him he needs stability before he can be in Lily's life again.
And in the cataloged, hyper-surveilled city of Neo-Bangkok, stability is a mathematical absolute.
It means money.
It means money. So Mako calculates exactly what was stolen from him by Decha Suwan's corruption.
Hmm?
He lost 47 million baht in total value.
Right.
But he doesn't target the full amount. He targets a specific, hidden private banking account holding exactly 23 million baht.
Wait, why just the 23? If you're going to pull off a massive heist, why not take everything the guy owes you? Take the whole 47 million.
Because of the karmic mass we were just talking about.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, 23 million is the exact mathematical threshold Mako calculated he needs to achieve the stability required to see his daughter.
So anything more than that.
Anything beyond that becomes greed. And greed carries a much heavier, entirely different karmic density.
That makes so much sense.
He is trying to keep the footprint of his crime as small as mathematically possible so he can actually afford the premium to sell the consequence.
That perfectly explains his demeanor during the heist itself.
Yes, it really does.
If you're listening to this expecting some action movie sequence with guns blazing, that's not what happens at all. It is cold. It is purely architectural.
Very clinical.
Exactly. He uses a connection, this caterer named Dao, to infiltrate Decha Suwan's quarterly party, and the tension in the source text during this part is just incredible.
Oh, it's so well written.
Mako is dressed as a server. He quietly navigates past the security team, slips up to a dark second-floor office, uses a cloned voice print he built, and grabs a physical hardware token sitting on the desk.
And then the clock starts ticking.
Right. He initiates a transfer to a legacy Singaporean account, stealing the 23 million baht in exactly a 30-second window.
And notice how the author describes Mako's internal state during those 30 seconds.
It's eerie.
There's no adrenaline rush, no panic at all. He just executes the code of his plan.
Yeah, he's not acting like a thief. He's acting more like an auditor finding a rounding error. It's totally devoid of passion.
Completely detached.
Think about a moment in your own life where the stakes were just incredibly high. Maybe a car accident or a massive presentation at work.
Right, where you'd expect to freak out.
Yeah, and instead of panicking, your emotions just dropped out completely. You just felt a cold structural clarity. You just did what needed to be done.
That is exactly Mako in that dark office.
Right.
It's the clarity of a man who knows exactly what his objective is. And once that transfer is complete, the axe belongs to him, the money is his.
But the consequence isn't.
Exactly. Because he visited Nang Sura beforehand, the consequence, the cosmic blowback of that massive theft, transfers immediately to the buyer.
Which leads us to a massive, glaring paradox in this whole system.
Oh, the biggest paradox.
He just committed a 23 million bat cyber heist. The karmic blowback for that has to be absolutely devastating.
Huge.
So who in their right mind is going long on spiritual damnation? Who is the buyer?
The ledger reveals the buyer is a woman named Siriporn Wattana, and she shatters every single expectation you might have.
She really does.
She's in some criminal underworld boss using the karma market to hedge her bets. She's a 44-year-old woman who has spent 22 years building a genuinely good, ethical pharmaceutical company.
Right. She's legitimately a great person.
She has a loving husband. She is, by all accounts, a profoundly decent human being.
Here's where it gets really interesting. You're telling me this wonderful person who is living this great life actively goes to the night market to purchase a catastrophic amount of bad karma.
Yes.
Why would anyone intentionally buy a disaster?
Because of a concept Nang Sura calls surplus grace.
Plus grace, okay.
We have to remember the fundamental rule of this universe. The ledger does not view karma as a reward system for good behavior.
Right, doesn't care if you're a good person.
Exactly. It views it strictly as a balancing mechanism. Think of it like atmospheric pressure.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Over 22 years of ethical choices, building a business that saves lives, and being a good mother, Siriporn has passively accrued so much positive density that her account is radically imbalanced.
Ah, I see where this is going.
She has created a high-pressure system of good luck, and the universe abhors an imbalance. It is actively preparing a massive, devastating correction to balance her books.
Wow. So being too good is actually a liability? The universe just hates a winner.
It doesn't hate her, it's just doing the math.
It's just doing the math, yeah.
And the text specifies exactly what that mathematical correction will look like if left unchecked.
What happens?
Without intervention, this blind cosmic correction will manifest as a chaotic tragedy that results in an 8-year estrangement from her 9-year-old daughter, Mali.
That is just heartbreaking.
It's her worst nightmare.
You know, if you've ever had a moment where everything in your life is going perfectly and you get that creeping, irrational paranoia that the other shoe is about to drop.
Yes, that exact feeling.
Well, in this universe, that anxiety isn't just in your head. It is a literal, impending economic forecast.
Exactly. Siriporn realizes she cannot stop the correction. The universe is going to extract its toll one way or another.
Right.
But she realizes she can dictate the terms.
Oh, that's smart.
By intentionally going to the night market and buying Miko's medium-density bad karma, she triggers a controlled demolition.
Controlled demolition. Wow.
She takes a hit she knows she can survive. The text mentions a manageable corporate scandal and a minor health crisis.
So she willingly accepts that friction.
Yes, she accepts it to absorb the cosmic blow, entirely to protect a relationship with her daughter that she absolutely cannot bear to lose.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, if you step back and look at the profound symmetry of this, it's just staggering.
It really is beautiful in a dark way.
The karma market itself is totally blind. It is just a machine. It doesn't care about human justice or fairness at all.
Not even a little bit.
But these two desperate parents manage to find a beautiful symmetry within it anyway. Siriporn buys bad karma to save her relationship with her daughter, Molly.
Right.
And by absorbing that karma, she gives Mako the clean slate he needs to secure the money to rebuild his relationship with his own daughter, Lily.
That's perfect.
Two people who would never cross paths in the legitimate world, perfectly balancing each other out through a cold financial transaction.
It's a testament to human ingenuity, really. They took a ruthless physics engine and used it to protect the people they love.
But of course, because this mechanism is utterly blind and mathematical, it doesn't always create these poetic, symmetrical solutions.
No, definitely not.
In fact, if you don't know exactly what you are doing, it can create absolute nightmares.
Yes, it can. The market processes whatever data people bring to it, completely without judgment.
Right.
And to see the catastrophic dark side of this system, we really have to look at the secondary plot involving a man named Kassem.
Right, Qasim. He is an entirely different kind of client than Mako or Siriporn.
Very different.
He didn't go to the market out of love. He was a bagman. He actively stole money for the corrupt city councilor, Decha Suwan.
He was part of the problem.
Exactly. He was part of the machine that destroyed people like Mako in the first place. But eventually, the guilt gets to him.
As it does.
So Qasim goes to Nang Sura, pays a massive premium, and buys a clean slate to clear his conscience. But months later, he is still eaten up by paranoia. He just can't let it go. He returns to the night market and demands to know exactly who bought his bad karma.
Which is usually against the rules. Nang Sura generally keeps the ledger totally anonymous.
Yeah.
But Qasim pushes, and what the ledger reveals is devastating.
What does it say?
The person who absorbed the toxic consequence of Qasim's corruption was his own 23-year-old son, Narong.
So what does this all mean for Qasim? Like, how does his son end up buying his sins?
Well, we have to look at Narong's life to understand that.
Okay.
Narong is a junior investigator in the public prosecutor's office. He grew up watching his father operate in the shadows, and he reacted by living his life with intense, almost obsessive morality.
Trying to make up for his dad?
Exactly. He was so careful, so doggedly pursuing justice, trying to compensate for his father's shady life, that he accumulated his own dangerous level of surplus grace.
Oh, no. Let me guess. Narong's pure, selfless crusade generated way too much positive density, and the universe was going to balance him out by destroying his life's work.
You nailed it. Narong was facing a cosmic correction that was going to completely derail his massive 3-year investigation into municipal corruption.
Let me guess who he was investigating.
Specifically, the investigation into Decha Suwan.
Wow.
So Narong went to the night market, seeking to buy some bad karma just to ground himself and protect his case.
Right.
And in a tragically blind automated transaction, the bad karma he purchased was the exact karma his father had sold.
That is just a nightmare. It's like paying a dark web assassin to take out a threat only to realize the target the algorithm locked onto is your own kid.
That's a great way to put it.
Qasim bought a clean conscience for helping a corrupt politician, and the price of that clean conscience is being paid by his son, who is trying to take that exact politician down.
The irony is brutal.
How do you even fix an automated cosmic transaction like that? Can Qasim just buy it back?
He tries, but this is where we learn Nang Sura's most hidden, unbreakable rule.
What is it?
You cannot just buy a reversal. The ledger does not work like a customer service refund desk. The universe doesn't care if you feel sorry or if you made a mistake.
It's just math.
Right. It only responds to kinetic energy. The only way to take back the consequence, to actually lift the weight off the buyer, is through a genuine confession.
A confession?
Yes, but in this universe, a confession isn't just a private, tearful apology. It must generate enough mass to offset the contract.
So it has to actually mean something.
It must cost something real and devastating in the physical world.
And the cost Qasim has to pay is just brutal.
It is.
He asks Narong to meet him at a small noodle shop. He sits across from his son, this crusading investigator, and slides a manila envelope across the table.
The evidence.
Yeah. Inside are the physical documents, the bank transfers, the ledgers proving his own complicity in Decha Suwan's corruption.
He hands it right over.
Qasim knowingly hands his son the exact evidence that will lead to his own arrest, his own public disgrace, and his own total legal ruin.
Yeah.
He materially destroys his own life just to generate enough karmic mass to take the weight off his son's shoulders.
It is a profound sacrifice, and it proves a really critical limitation of the night market.
What's that?
The market allows you to outsource consequence for a time, but it doesn't actually erase your connection to the act itself.
You can't truly escape it.
No, the ledger always knows where the origin point is. Qasim accepts prison to restore the balance.
Which brings us perfectly to how this entire philosophy plays out for our protagonist, Mako, after the dust finally settles.
Right, getting back to Mako.
Qasim's confession proves that some debts fundamentally cannot be outsourced indefinitely. So how does Mako handle the aftermath of his heist?
Well, the dominoes fall exactly as the math dictated.
As expected.
Thanks to Narong's protected case, which is now completely bolstered by Qasim's documents, and the invisible, perfect financial trail Mako created with his surgical heist, Decha Suwan is finally arrested.
The corruption is dismantled.
Exactly. And Siriporn survives her minor corporate friction just as she planned.
Oh, that's good.
She even sends Mako a brief, anonymous message confirming that her daughter still has her father's eyes.
She kept what mattered most.
She did.
And Mako. His calculated risk actually pays off. With the $23 million, he clears the algorithmic hurdle for stability.
He hits the threshold.
He does. He rebuilds a modest, quiet life. He gets an apartment that actually has a view of a tree.
A little slice of peace.
And most importantly, he finally gets that approved video call with his daughter, Lily.
That final scene with Lily is incredibly moving,
It really is.
especially after all the cold forensic mechanics we've been discussing this whole time.
Yeah.
Lily gets on the screen, and she reads Mako, a list she's been keeping for the 18 months they were separated.
Right, the list.
It's a list of things her father doesn't know. And it's not grand, dramatic things at all. It's small, fragile things. A strange bird she saw on the balcony, a joke she heard at school, a random question she had about whether fish can hear.
This raises an important question, though. After all the manipulation, all the buying and selling of morality, Mako actually goes back to the night market one last time,
He does.
just to report in to Nang Sura. And he asks her point blank if the market actually does any good.
Yeah.
If this whole system of trading souls has any inherent moral value.
And Nang Sura's answer is really the thesis of the entire text.
What does she say?
She tells Mako that the market isn't inherently good or evil. It's just a mirror.
A mirror.
It produces exactly what people bring to it. But then she offers him a brilliant piece of perspective about Lily's list.
Oh, okay.
She tells Mako that the list isn't a record of what he missed during his absence. It is a record of what she saved for him.
Oh, that completely shifts the entire perspective.
Doesn't it?
It changes Mako, too.
Yeah.
He realizes he can't just wash his hands of the heist and pretend he's a perfectly innocent victim anymore.
No, he can't.
Yes, the terrible consequence was transferred to Siriporn, who used it for her own needs, but the act itself, standing in that dark room, hacking the token, taking the money, it belongs to him entirely.
It's his act.
He decides to carry the weight of what he did. He won't deny it, but he chooses to carry it in a way that leaves his hands free to hold his daughters.
It is the ultimate realization that the clean slate Nang Sura sells is, on a psychological level, just an illusion.
Totally.
You can buy your way out of the cosmic punishment, you can dodge the bad luck, but you still have to wake up every single day and be the person who is capable of committing the act.
You can't erase who you are.
Mako accepts that reality. He doesn't need to be pure. He just needs to be the man his daughter's list requires him to be.
It leaves you with such a heavy, fascinating thought to carry with you.
It really does.
Think back to that image we started with, the city that catalogs the rain, recording every single drop.
A perfect memory.
Imagine holding a physical ledger in your hands, not your legal record, not your credit score, not what your friends think of you.
Something much deeper.
The exact mathematical weight of every cause and effect you've ever put into the world, every ripple you've ever caused.
Terrifying.
If you could see that ledger, would you actually want to read it? Or is the blind, messy, uncalculated reality of not knowing the only thing that actually allows us the freedom to wake up every day and keep making choices?
That is the question.
It is. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the source material. We'll see you next time.